Hey, stars, it's me, Shot a Star, and I'm back. Listen, I know I owe you guys some videos and some stories. Just let me update you on what's been going on here. Well, look, my house have been scheduled to get a new roof for the past 2 weeks, right? But if you know anything about here in New York and New Jersey area, it's been raining every day pretty much for the past 2 weeks. So we've been just patiently waiting, looking at the forecast because you can't open up your roof to replace it while it's raining. So finally, we looked at the news last week and we realized that Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday was going to be good weather days. So the people were here Monday morning, first thing. And of course, you have to prepare for them because you have to move all your valuables, meaning, lawn, furniture, things like that, your cars. You have to take everything off of property because they're tearing down the roof. Okay, so from like 5:30 in the morning, you're moving cars out and you're doing things because they're here and they're working. And things have been gradually coming along, right? Well, yesterday, um, I guess they were trying to rush because they knew that they only had two really good Monday and Tuesday, and it was supposed to rain today, which is Wednesday. So they were trying to get a lot of things done. And I'm sitting in my living room, right? Get into this. I was sitting in my living room and I'm talking to Elle's cousin. He's standing by my fireplace, which is right off of my dining room. And I have these windows in my dining room. But nevertheless, we're talking, and all of a sudden, it's like an explosion where the window just blew in. I'm glad that we're sitting in. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. I'm like, what is going on? What the what? I didn't know if they was coming in here trying to get me, because my body and everything. I didn't know what anybody was trying to do, but I didn't know what to do. Come to find out, they have that thing that goes on the side of your house, and when they're trying to get heavy things up to the roof, they put it on and it takes it up. Well, apparently something happened and it fell off, and when it hit the gate, it smashed into my window. Now, these are 3 pane glass windows, weather, winter. And when you look at it, you really get to see the thickness of the glass, that it didn't only bust in the glass. They thought at first they just had to replace the glass, but the thing that was so heavy that fell and hit the gate, which damaged my gate and bounced off the gate and went into the window, in the window frame. It bent the whole window frame. So they had to take the whole window frame out and put in a whole new window. Now, mind you, this happened at 11:30 in the morning. By 3 o'clock, I had a new window in and everything. So not to complain, but just to give you an idea of the madness that goes on when you're working and having construction going on in your home and things of the sort, right? So again, today, like I said, they were ready, they were able to do um the roof the way that they wanted to. But there are other little aspects of it that they weren't able to attend to because they did come this morning for like 2 hours, but then it started to rain. So I don't know. So and they're predicting rain pretty much all week. So I don't know. It's a complete catastrophe. It's crazy over here because we have this big dumpster taking up our driveway because that's where they're putting everything at. And, because the work isn't finished, my driveway is unusable. It's just a lot going on. So please forgive me, and I'm gonna slide in the video as whenever and as much as I can, because with the type of noise that's going on when they're replacing your roof and not only were they replacing my roof, they were reconstructing my third floor of my house. Hardwood floor, well, first of all, because of the roof, it had leaks, so they had to fix all of that. Then inside, new sheetrock and everything, and then we decided we had carpet up there, have the carpet ripped up and have new hardwood floors put down and things. So they're working outside of my house and inside of my house. So it's people constant in and out, up and down, everywhere. So like I said, I just wanted to let you know and put you in on some of our madness that's going on. Enough of that. I'm drinking my lemon ginger tea. And I'm drinking my Saratoga water. So staying hydrated. How about that? Okay. Now, did you guys know that Chris Brown was arrested? I didn't know. I happened to be driving and listening to the radio, and they were stating that Chris Brown was arrested on May 15th. So last week he was arrested in London. And they're they're saying that apparently something happened last year in 2000, well, 2 years ago, 2023. It says Chris Brown released on $6.7 million bail, right? He can continue with upcoming tour after arrest in grievous bodily harm case. We've known Chris to have a temper, and we've known him to be in certain, having certain issues with his temper and violence and things of the sort. So, yeah, I wasn't completely, but what happened was apparently he got into a disagreement with a producer, promoter. It says Chris Brown was released on a $6.7 million bail after being arrested in Manchester and charged with causing grievous bodily harm for allegedly attacking producer Abby Drow in London in 2023. He will be able to continue with his upcoming tour as planned, according to the terms of his bail. Now, when I heard he was arrested, right, he has a big tour going, a world tour, some type of huge tour about to start. And they were saying that they were going to keep him in in London in jail until the trial. So that would have kind of threw off everything, ticket sales and just venues and everything. And somewhere along the line, they decided to release him with a $6.7 million bail. So, I mean, from what I understand, allegedly he attacked the producer with a bottle, like real, like clung, 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 like that type of thing. Okay. So I don't know. It is what it is. I'm sure we'll hear a lot about it. And I'm sure you guys are in overload with the Puffy news. Like I said, I will report certain things, but like for instance, right? Um, I saw that Cassie's mother had testified, and she said that Puffy had tried to blackmail her family, Cassie and her family. This is some time ago, like 2 days before Christmas. Cassie sent her mother an email with a CC of someone else that worked for Puff at the time, stating that Puff was blackmailing her and requested $20,000, some money that he had spent on her. And if she didn't give him the $20,000, he was going to. This happened a few days before Christmas. On Christmas Day, he was going to release one of the Freak Off tapes from the Freak parties, allegedly. And then on New Year's, he was going to release the second video. So, I mean, Cassie got scared, and Cassie contacted her mom, and her mom, of course, probably didn't have that money on hand. I mean, a lot of us don't have $20,000 on hand. So she went and took a loan on her house, and that's her daughter. What did you expect her to do? So she wired Puffy the money, allegedly, and in a couple of days, he wired the money back. He never thought that they would be able to come up with the money within a couple of days or whatever. I don't know what that was about. I think it was all a control factor. I will say this. I have been following the case, and I'm not going to report on any and everything because there's enough of that going on. But I did hear that, like Dawn Lewis, I'm sorry, Dawn from Danity Kane, she testified, and I heard that was complete mess because she claimed she couldn't remember certain things. And why are you even there then? What are you talking about? If you can't remember certain things, but you can remember certain things, I don't know. A lot of times it feels like a money grab. But my thing is, how would she get a money grab at this point? She's already there testifying. The money grab will come before she go to testify. So I don't know. But listen, I'm going to look at it like this, and I'm going to say this, and some of you may agree. I don't think Puffy ever loved Cassie. From the things that you're hearing and the things that sure, love is weird and love is blind and all of those things. But listen, people, you can't constantly think. Listen, I think that she was more like his sex toy. Someone young, someone that was controllable, that he could control them. I don't know. Something pretty and nice on his arm as arm candy. I have seen interviews where he actually stated that he was in love with her, but he wasn't ready for marriage. And I think that's what she was looking for. I don't think Puffy intended on marrying anybody. This man is at this age and he has never married not one person. And he has 3 baby mothers? So he's never married anybody. And all those 3 baby mothers, believe it or not, were somewhat connected. You know, it's weird because so I don't think he ever really loved her like that. I don't think he actually saw her as a relationship. I think he saw her as a young plaything. I This is my views allegedly. So I'm not surprised by the things that I'm hearing because some of the things I'm hearing, who we lose our mind if we even think of our partners being with someone else. But this man, that's all he did was share her and push her to other people. And then when she wanted to go to the people she wanted to go to, allegedly he'll blow up their cars and he'll threaten them. And this, so it's just a control thing to me. But nevertheless, I will give you a what I think of it when something that happens that we don't expect or something that everyone isn't talking about. It's just weird. Okay. But speaking of Diddy, um, did you know that his twin daughters they are now have now graduated from high school, and Jesse and Delilah Combs stating that they're not attending college. They're not going to college. They stated that they or I watched a video of them on their last day of school, and they were stating that this is the first time I heard that they weren't going to college, and they were putting on makeup and doing things, getting ready for their final day of school, right? And they stated that there were going to be like a class picture, a group picture that they would not be involved in because in the picture everyone is going to show what school they're going to, and because they're not attending college at this time, they didn't have anything to show, so they weren't going to attend that part of the function. So yeah, they say that Diddy's daughters, Jesse and Delilah Combs, to skip college after high school graduation. Um, I don't know what to think about that. I really don't. I don't know what to think about that. I don't know if we should be thinking maybe they don't want the kids too far away from home at the time at the moment because of what's going on. There are some crazy people out there, and I don't think that they're ready to release them out to a school where they're pretty much living on their own and stuff like that. Well, the girls don't seem to have a problem with it. They stated we have our own clothing line, and they're about to premiere another part of that line with hoodies and sweatshirts. So they said they already have businesses and stuff. So right now they're going to forego with going to college and work on their businesses and do that. And I guess stick around, stay close. I can get it where you are at this time with all that's going on, you would want to keep your family as close as possible. You can keep an eye on them. I wouldn't want to be going through something like this, such as Puffy going through it, being arrested, being in jail, and his daughters are somewhere across the country or, someplace else. I don't know. But nevertheless, they're not going to college at the moment. And that's just what they're saying. Did you know that I know most of you guys, everybody's familiar with Bow Wow, right? Okay. So are you familiar with who's Bow Wow's dating? I did hear a while ago that he was dating someone, but I wasn't familiar with the woman. I was familiar with her family, but I wasn't familiar with her. Um, well, Bow Wow now discussed it, opened up in a Shannon Sharp interview for Club Shay Shay. Okay. That Bow Wow talks relationship with Jade Pinkett and possibility of marriage. Now, this is Jade. She's cute. And I have heard of her before, but I don't know anything about her. Well, she's the niece of Jada Pinkett, Will Smith's wife. Jade Pinkett is the niece of Jada Pinkett, Will Smith's wife. Jada, they keeping that name alive, ain't they? Well, yeah. So I mean, I know that Bow Wow has a kid. I know his daughter. She's cute. I don't know if I think he has only one kid allegedly at the point. I don't know, but nevertheless, he's talking about marriage, and who knew? I mean, everyone grows up. He's not little Bow Wow no more. He's just Bow Wow. Um, Bow Wow is stating that Bow Wow, whose real name is Shad Moss, confirms in a new interview, like I said, that he is dating dancer and content creator Jade Pinkett, who is the niece of actress Jada Pinkett Smith. So he claims he's serious and that I don't know quite how long they've been seeing each other, or whatever have you, but hope it works. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. Let me drink a little. I know y'all saying this is ghetto. Why is he drinking out the bottle? But I just pulled these bottles like these are the size bottles that I brought. and they are not sponsoring this show, but I love the water. I love the bottle. It's easy to deal with. So I just pull it out and I just drink my own bottle. Okay. Um, let's talk about airplanes and the um, issues, which we all know. Listen, I'm at the point now, like I've made it perfectly clear to you guys that my household, we're not ready to fly and go on vacation. We have some friends that are leaving, that have gone, and that will be going, traveling within the next week or two or whatever. It's just not us. We're not ready for that yet. It's too much. I don't find getting there might be fine, but there might be a problem getting back. I don't want to go through any of that right now. So, are you aware that um, a Republic Airway jet had to abort takeoff and slam on brakes to stop to avoid a collision with a United airline plane that was still taxiing across the runway at New York's LaGuardia Airport, right? That's first instance. The next day, another incident occurred with a London-bound flight from JFK International Airport was forced to abort takeoff and hit the brakes midway to avoid colliding with another plane that was on the same runway. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care what it sounds like. The airlines do not care about us. This has constantly been going on since the beginning of the new year, since this new administration has been going in. He's been laying off and firing and stopping these classes and this, that, and the other. And this is what the results are, and this is what the results will be. What I will say is we have to hit them in their pockets, people. We have to stop. We have to forego some of these vacations and some of these trips and find a new form of transportation. If it's Amtrak, I'm not saying for the kids to go to Greyhound because I'm not a bus person, but I can get on Amtrak. And yes, it will take longer. But when was the last time you heard of an Amtrak plane, a train having an issue? Now, when was the last time, 100 times, have you heard about the planes having an issue? Across the board, from Spirit to United to Delta to American, like it's nonstop. So that lets me know that it's not just the couriers, the airline couriers themselves, is the system, and which we know. We know that we don't have enough people working with the FAA and the NTSB, and just telling the planes where they should be. It's a madhouse. And I think the only way things are going to get better, because clearly this has been happening over and over and over and over again, and nothing's happening. And it's happening, like I said, we can't go a complete, at least it's getting a little longer. I was saying before, we couldn't go every other day. We were hearing something at one point. Now it's every week, but now it's one day, one the next day. It's too much. It's too much. And I'm not willing to go out in that manner. I think that unless we starts canceling some of these bookings and some of these flight reservations, is the only way they're going to start taking us serious. Because right now they're doing everything. Planes are colliding. Planes are crashing with helicopters, and planes are. I just told you two instances: one at LaGuardia, one at JFK, where the flights had to abort at the last minute because the air traffic controllers didn't know that one plane was taxiing on this runway where they told another plane take off on that runway. So once they get to a certain point, they see that there's a plane there, they have to slam on brakes. This has happened twice in 2 days. That's not a good look. Something's not right. And y'all go ahead and keep doing it, doing what you're doing and thinking it's crazy and think it won't happen to you, but it will, and it can. Okay, moving right along. Now, we know about how we send our kids to school, right? We send them to work. We send them there to work, to become better people. We hope and pray that they have a teacher there that is teaching, and that's what they're really there for, not for a check. Well, this another student has been stabbed in school during lunch. And I'm like, okay. But what I found weird about this story, right? This is a school. And I mean, you're going to say, oh, I expect it. You shouldn't expect it. In any school where any student is going to be assaulted to the point where they're stabbed in their chest and in their stomach. Okay. Now, granted, this is a school in New Jersey that's it's for behavioral problems. It's for, it's for kids that have certain types of issues, right? But you have to understand, Even if the kids have behavioral problems, emotional problems, learning disabilities, whatever they may be, you know your audience. You know what type of school this is. So if you need to put metal detectors in a school for regular students, they have to go through metal detectors. Why wouldn't you have metal detectors at a school for kids with behavioral problems, emotional problems, learning disabilities? When things are just not as clear as it can be to the average person, why wouldn't you? Okay, so we're going to do this. A 14-year-old student was stabbed at a private school in Passaic County on Monday. Rashawn Christian, 18, of Elizabeth, New Jersey, was charged with aggravated assault and weapons offenses in the altercation. Wayne police responded to the Lakeview Learning Center on Monday for a report of a 14-year-old stabbed at school. School staff reported that the 14-year-old was bleeding heavily from the chest, and the person accused of stabbing the student was on a lower level in the school. Authorities arrested Christian. Give me 1 second, people. I'm trying to get this. Um, okay, they said the school went into lockdown. The staff members intervened immediately. The 14-year-old was transported to St. Joseph Medical Center and was undergoing surgery as of Monday afternoon. Lakeview Learning Center is an alternative therapeutic private school that accepts middle and high school students with behavioral, emotional, and learning disabilities, according to the school's website. The school principal, Jacqueline Swanson, said police are handling the investigation and declined any further comment. Okay, so like I said, and maybe a 14-year-old student, which would be considered a freshman, and maybe an 18-year-old student who may be a senior, maybe they shouldn't be together. That's a big age gap, especially when you have behavioral, emotional, and learning disabilities. You know? So I just think that these schools have to do better. And like I said, if you're going to put metal detectors in a school for regular kids, why wouldn't you have that there? They already have behavioral problems. They already have emotional and learning disabilities, so they need to be protected even more. Just my opinion, people. I think these schools, like I said, is about the money, is about the sponsorship, is about the check. I don't know. And until we want better, they won't do better. Period. Okay. Well, what I'm going to say is, I think that during the pandemic, right? It was stated and statistics were shown that a lot of older grown um, children of people, meaning you're grown and adult, moved back home with their elderly parents, older parents, where the parents thought that they was empty nesting, where they were just alone. Some of them may have sold their bigger house and got a smaller house because the kids were out. And because of the pandemic, the kids had to come back home. They had to come somewhere. And it's just reality of it all. Living in New York and living in New Jersey is super, super expensive. So, you think your kid, they move out and go to college, and then they attempt to go from college to an apartment to tend for themselves. But you can't make enough money to live in New York and New Jersey at these days. Not when they're asking $1 million. If you're purchasing $1 million for a studio, at least $1 million for a studio, you're talking about $1.5 million for 1 bedroom, 2 million for 2 bedroom. And if you're renting, you're spending anywhere from what, 2,000 to 3,000 to even more. Um, I don't know. But I think that the parents are getting sick of these kids. The pandemic is over and they want them kids out of their house. Okay, so, but this one isn't quite sure, but the next one would be. But now, this man, his kids were all juvenile. They're juveniles, they're kids, teenagers, I'm sure. Well, this man, okay, you won't make it to Wednesday. Dad shoots his 3 sons during a fight over a car, then threatened to kill them after his arrest. So he said when he gets out, he's going to kill them. So this is the dad. This happened in Florida, right? Now, like I said, it's not one story. I have another story right behind this one where the parents are sick and tired of being tied. Period. Okay. So I'm going to tell you about this one and we'll move on to the next. But this is what we have here. New footage of a home in Ruskin, Florida, where Christopher Lee Brown allegedly shot his 3 sons. A Florida man was charged with several felonies after he allegedly opened fire on his own sons, reportedly over a fight over the family's car. Now, they're not going into specifics on what it was about. Did they take the car without permission? Did they not put gas in the car when they returned it? It could be a number of things. Well, Christopher Lee Brown, who's 36 years old, was arrested on Sunday after police said he shot his 3 sons, all of whom are juveniles, according to the court documents. The police responded to a call about a shooting at around 11:15 a.m. on Sunday in Brown's Ruskin's neighborhood. When deputies arrived at the scene, they found Brown's 3 sons all suffering from gunshot wounds. All 3 boys were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and survived. Their names and ages were not released because they are underage. They are juveniles. According to the documents, detectives who investigated the shooting stated that the altercation stemmed from an argument about a car, and reportedly Brown, the father, reportedly confronted his sons about whatever the situation was with the car, because again, they're not being very clear about it, but the argument escalated to where the father got this gun and pow-powed his sons, all 3 of them. All 3. I thought maybe if he had shot one, the other 2 would have got the message, but he shot all 3. Yeah, so now he's in jail, and like I said, he threatened to kill them when he got out. Who knew? Okay, so we're going to go to the next one. Now, this is what this is stating, okay, that we're going to go through this one. This is crazy. These moms are doing things, the parents are doing things to the kids that our parents in my age bracket threatened to do but never did. Mom 72 shoots her 38-year-old son inside their Arizona home for playing video games too loud. This is the mother. Mom 72 shoots her 38-year-old son because he was playing video games too loud. Okay, so I'm going to get into the story with you and tell me what you think. I don't know. Hold on. Okay, an Arizona mother has been arrested after shooting her 38-year-old son for playing video games too loud in their home. Hazel Benson, 72, faces charges of aggravated assault, disorderly conduct, and discharging of a firearm within city limits after allegedly shooting her son Saturday night in Arizona, in their Mesa, Arizona home. Benson, who called 911, told cops she shot at her son and threw the gun into a canal. According to the report, she says she didn't know if she had hit him when she fired the gun and that it was at the back door of her home, according to the court documents. So she wasn't aware if she shot him, she shot at him, but she did wind up shooting him. So now she's arrested under charges. She claimed that he was playing his video games too loud. He had been warned and she had been telling him. First off, I'm gagging at the fact that he's 38, still home with his 72-year-old mother, playing video games. And playing video games to the point where you're getting on her nerves. How loud is this video game? I'm not a gamer. We're not gamers. And I thank God for that, because I'm not 72 years old or close to it, but I'm a person of a certain age, and I don't like I like to come home to peace and quiet. And at 72, I'm hoping possibly she's retired, hopefully at this time. But, at a certain age, you don't want every little thing gets in your nerves. And like I said, a lot of these people thought that they were free of raising kids and having to deal with their kids because they were moved out. But because of pandemic, people moved back in. Well, people, it's been years since the pandemic now. Get it together. Get out your parents' home. Stop driving them crazy. Stop making them come after you in this manner and insulting you and pounding you. You're not getting the message. You're not getting the message. They're no longer threatening to do things to you. They're doing it. They can't take it. When it gets to the point where your mom is shooting you in your stomach because she done told you to turn your video game down too many times. When your dad gets to the point where he shoots all 3 of his young sons because either they didn't put, I'm not sure, this is allegedly, they didn't put gas back in the car. They didn't put the car back where they found it. I don't know. But these are not things that you take a life for. So these parents are tired. And I think y'all better, give up, loosen up a little bit, loosen up, devil. Okay. Listen, I know you guys talked about that Mexican naval tall ship that crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge, right? And I want to say rest in peace to the 2 sailors that passed away and the dozen of other sailors that were injured. It says the Mexican naval tall ship veered off course and struck the Brooklyn Bridge, killing, unaliving 2 sailors and injuring more than 24 other sailors. The ship was on a goodwill mission and was bound for Iceland. Now, they're saying the pilot, but we know as a captain on the ship and a pilot as on the plane, whatever, but they're saying the pilot. And they say the captain is stating that he informed whoever was controlling the ship to go forward, but somehow they started to go in reverse. Now, I don't know if they were sending, I don't know what type of communication they have on. I've been on ships and I've seen boats. Hell, people talk on the walkie-talkie everywhere. And I don't understand how communication can get so turned around. What are you sending communication? What are you sending? Smoke signals or something? Like, I mean, for real. You speak it to the radio, you're reversing, go forward. 30 knots. You're reversing, go forward. Stop reversing, go forward. He said he stated that, and the boat kept going in reverse, which was heading towards the Brooklyn Bridge, where they knew they were too tall for it. That's why they were supposed to be going forward. Remember, this ship was on some type of, what did they say? It was on a goodwill mission. It was bound for Iceland. So whatever happened, the communication was off. The captain is claiming that he told whoever was controlling the ship to go forward. They decided to go in reverse and then pick up speed in reverse, and that's what happened. I don't know. It's weird because me and Elle was just in the car not long ago, and I've noticed when I turned 40 years old, right, I started wearing glasses. When I turned 40 years old, I realized that I don't like small spaces anymore. I can't be in an elevator too long. Any small space, I can't be in. This happened when I turned 40. Don't ask me how and why. And I have a phobia of driving across really long bridges. And I was just telling him that I'm driving and I'm telling him, like, my phobia is really kicking up on this. I forgot what bridge was on, upstate somewhere. And I was like, I'm freaking out because we were starting to talk about the ship, the cargo ship that crashed into the bridge, what was in Staten Island, that took the whole bridge down. And I was stating to them about this. When I heard about this, I was like, wow, can you imagine? Because I saw the video and cars were going across the bridge at the time that this ship hit the bridge, this Mexican ship. And I don't know. I would have freaked out if I was on the bridge and saw this thing coming and hitting the bridge. I don't know if it shook the bridge or did anything that anybody can report that they were on the bridge and felt it. Listen, I don't know, but listen, I would have freaked out. I don't know. My anxieties and certain phobias started to show themselves at age 40 for me. And it tends to get worse, to be really, really honest with you. Things that never bothered me before. Now I think about, and I also think about, I think because I'm older, I think about life differently. And I think when we're younger, we're thinking we're invincible and nothing can happen. And that happened to them, but it won't happen to us. And I think that now I'm at a certain age, I realize it can happen to anybody. And just because you leave your house doesn't mean that you're going to be able to return, And I think I said in my Mother's Day text I had sent out to all the mothers in my life and women that have, that are mothers, I stated to them, hug your mother, love your mother, and love your family members, because the next time you walk away could be the last time you walk away. So love your family. Seriously. We have to be intentional about what we're doing. I want you to be in the know about what's going on. If you care about it or not, you can't say you don't know if you watch this channel, okay? I love you guys. I'm going to end this. And listen, what I will say is you never know when that last time is. So again, love your family, love each other, and I'll see you guys as soon as possible. Love you guys. Peace.